Hello, my name is Laryssa D, and today I will be presenting Case 34, Shark Fin Soup, Hong Kong Disneyland Loses Magic for Some. I'm going to be starting off with a video.
Points, but overall, Hong Kong seemed welcoming of Disney, expecting them to bring 1.2 million additional tourists and spark an annual GDP growth of almost 0.5%. The site for the park was to be located on Penny's Bay, a northeast section of Hong Kong's largest island, Lantau Island. After rumors of the new Disney resort began to circulate, local archaeologists went to the island to search for and remove any artifacts before Disney's arrival. Disney's new Hong Kong resort was set to open in 2005, so development began immediately. This resulted in Disney's California Adventure, Walt Disney Studios Paris, Tokyo Disney Sea, and Disney's Hong Kong Resort being constructed at the same time. Eisner and other executives were wary of spending too much on three of the four new parks. Disney Sea's development and construction was conducted by the Oriental Land Company. The independent Japanese off guard. Disney was struggling, but the company had just released a strong first quarter earnings report, and they were coming off of a successful slate of films in 2003. The seemingly random bid raised the stakes for the shareholders' meeting. While Disney had expressed no interest in the merger, this strengthened Roy's argument to preserve the soul of the company, which would certainly be destroyed if it were absorbed into a large media conglomerate. At the same time, it provided management with a lot of options, including a potential graceful escape plan for Eisner should he approve the merger. Everyone was present at the shareholders' meeting. Roy gave a passionate speech on his Save Disney campaign, which was met with thunderous applause and a standing ovation. Eisner's speech spoke of the company's success and its future, and he claimed that the points Roy were making were exaggerated or simply untrue. Opening neared. On August 19, 2005, reports were released accusing Disney of running manufacturing plants in mainland China that overworked and underpaid employees, reportedly compensating some 33 cents an hour, which was 9 cents under China's minimum wage of 42 cents an hour. Disney promised to investigate the matter, while the factories denied the allegations. On August 27, 2005, Hong Kong actor Daniel Wu voiced opposition to the park and announced a personal boycott. He claimed that when him and the other stars were filming a promo for the park, the American workers were disrespectful to them. A spokesperson for Hong Kong Disneyland chalked the incident up to miscommunication and hoped that everyone would come to the park themselves to see the difference. The month after the park opened, an employee climbed to the top of Space Mountain, threatening to take his own life. Luckily, the attempt was thwarted. However, an opinion poll following the incident revealed the extent to which the public relations nightmares that the park had endured were affecting the public's perception of the resort.
Okay, so that's basically discussing the video. And the video is discussing how Hong Kong Disneyland was like with their history and how it was founded and started up. In the video, it is shown with a mother flying on the ride, the boys on the roller coaster discovering new things, and a boy becoming a prince. This is what Disneyland Hong Kong intentionally wanted to do so that people could think of it as the happiest place on earth. But is it really the happiest place on earth? So, some background information. Hong Kong Disneyland opened in 2005. It reached lots of unfavorable international news coverage because of cost, noisy and polluting fireworks, mistreatment of laborers and stray dogs, and shark fin culture. Hong Kong owns 57% of the project after a $2.9 billion investment, including the government. With the project, it created 18,000 jobs for the economy, 4,000 construction workers, and 5,000 Disney employees, valuing at $19 billion over a 40-year period. It was also creating the Feng Shui design, which is a rotating orientation of the park several degrees, and it also placed 3 large boulders, allowing harmony with spiritual forces. The park opened September 12, 2005, which children sang in English, Cantonese, and Putonghua, which is Standard Mandarin, and the park opened. The Chief Executive Officer, President of Walt Disney, President of People's Republic in China, and Chief Executive of Hong Kong attendees attended this ceremony. The food was provided to ensure everyone would be happy. Charity Day was started before the Hong Kong Disneyland opened. Hong Kong Disneyland received negative publicity before and after the opening ceremony. As I mentioned before, some of the stuff include air and noise pollution, labor issues, wild dogs, and overcrowding. And in my opinion, some of the apologies did not seem real and that it was last minute. Hong Kong Disney is not the best place to go for tourist attractions. So who are the PR stakeholders? Hong Kong Disneyland, Robert Eager is the president. Environmentalist groups, because they were fighting for what they believed was right, although Hong Kong Disney never worked with them. Visitors, international news were spreading awareness of what went on during Hong Kong Disney, and Bill Ernest, the president, who was taken over after Eager resigned. So, why PR was needed in this case? Public relations were needed because Disneyland had packages which included shark fin soup. Shark fin soup is something that everyone in their culture eats. The sharks would be having their fins cut off while thrown back into the ocean. Disney president Robert Eager, after a month of protest, declared that the shark fin soup would not be on the Disneyland wedding menu anymore. PR was also needed because the environmentalist groups were fighting for what they thought was right, while Disneyland took a while to get their response back. The environmentalists were also fighting for other causes that the park was not providing for them and younger children and those who were old. The environmentalists wanted change for their Disneyland, except it never happened. Objective. The objective was that Hong Kong Disneyland used was that although it took a month to finally agree that shark fin soup would not be on a wedding menu, the Hong Kong Disneyland had been aiming to grow as a franchise, although they have other problems in their park. The problems they still had in their park were going on for a long time, and no one was going to take the blame for what was going on. Strategies and tactics. Hong Kong Disneyland had addressed the main issue, which was not to serve shark fin soup. They do, although, have other problems in their park, such as air and noise pollution, labor issues, wild dogs, and overcrowding. Bull Ernest, the executive vice president and managing director of the park, apologized. Hong Kong Disneyland was trying to be a local paradise for those to enjoy vacationing to, but they were finding the shady truths about what really went on. In the investigations, the environmentalists, along the international news coverage, were able to break down what really went on. This is negative public relations because the Hong Kong Disneyland did not really come up with a real apology and still had day-to-day problems with their park. Critical analysis. The strategies and tactics Hong Kong Disneyland were not effective. They did not get their wording right while trying to appeal to the public. The environmentalists should have been more included and have their own stand. Yes, the news did report about them fighting, but I feel that because there were so many problems around the park, there should have been more to say. Air and noise pollution led to the fireworks, which left smog. The environmentalists requested that Disney use pyrotechnics technology, using air to lift the fireworks, reducing noise and smoke from ground powder. Disney Hong Kong did not agree and did not do this. Labor issues were a problem as news coverage started. The labor activist claimed that Disney forced park staffers to work 11 to 13 hours days, inadequate breaks, and rewrote daily schedules without notice. I did go back, and it did remind me of the Apple case that we talked about a while back. And student investigating the case found labor abuses, which they believe Disney underpaid its workers to 10 to 12-hour day and 6 days a week. Wild dogs were another problem because animal rights activists protested the killing of 45 dogs, part of a wild dog pack on hills surrounding the park. The news accounts mentioned the wild dogs threatened workers and visitors. The government tried to find homes for new dogs, and those who were sick were killed. Overcrowding led to people complaining that the parks were too small, with only 21 attractions specifically on the Lunar New Year. There is success in Shanghai Disneyland. What did work and what did not work? What worked? The news coverage, environmentalists, rights were the only ones that made the case work positively. Shanghai Disneyland opened in 2013, which was planning on building a beneficial community relation and develop a socially responsible mindset. What did not work, it was a month for everyone to apologize for what was going on. What should have been differently was Hong Kong Disney should have worked with the environmentalist activists and found better ways to fix these problems. Hong Kong should have also donated money to help animals and those who are sick because of the smog. Theories and strategies. Situational theory of publics as it is building relationships for an organization understanding publics. Agenda building theory as active publics and organizations focus on a cause and news media, and public officials put a cause on agenda for potential change. Outlook. Shanghai Disneyland opened in 2016 and works closely with its community. They have a group called the Disney Volunteers Program. They work with nonprofit organizations, and currently it's closed because of the virus. So these are my questions, and thank you for your time, and I hope you learned more about what went on.